Hello, everybody. My name is Benny, and I am the Fool's Apprentice. Thank you for coming by. We have a tarot chat today. Hi, Jackie. How are you?
Hi, I'm great, thank God.
We did a tarot one card study. So that came out before we actually did this. So I know that you're from Ireland,
I am.
and it's evening time. It's like 8 o'clock, and you have a lot of light.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, that's only because the weather is amazing at the moment. It was about 25 degrees, I'd say, today. Celsius, like I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but yeah, it's very hot at the moment. So
Oh,
it's still very bright and sunny.
okay. When does it get dark for you? Because 8 o'clock with the light is still like, that's surprising to me.
I think it's about 10 o'clock now or so. Yeah, so we
10
have another
o'clock at
couple of
night
hours.
before it gets
Yeah,
dark?
yeah, yeah,
Wow. Okay. So
yeah.
when does the sun rise and you start getting light in the morning?
Oh my God, about 4 o'clock, I'd say. It's
Wait a minute.
crazy early anyway.
Wait a minute. From 10 to 4, that's like 6 hours of darkness and that's it?
Yeah, at the moment, yeah.
That blows my mind. I'm 54 and I've never known that.
Yeah,
Wow. I thought
yeah.
that it's only because I thought, except for maybe Alaska, I don't know why I only thought Alaska, that
I
everybody
don't,
else had like 8, 10 hours of darkness and then daylight.
no, it's
That's,
very little at the moment, yeah.
and then so when it becomes, when now does that flip where you'll have like
Oh
10,
yeah.
12 hours of darkness and only like 6 hours of daylight?
Or during the winter it gets dark about 3 p.m. like it's crazy. Yeah.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
see, you learn something new all the time.
You too.
So why don't you introduce yourself to everybody?
So I'm Jackie. I'm from Ireland. I have been doing tarot for just under 6.5 years now. I'm completely obsessed. I love my YouTube channel. I'm on Instagram. I use my Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I don't use the Facebook tarot page anymore because I'm kind of trying to come off Facebook. I'm sick of Facebook in general. Um, I've had enough of it. But I like Instagram, so I like to post photographs of my cards to Instagram, and then say check out my YouTube channel where I actually post the video of reading the daily cards or whatever, So
Very cool. I don't know
YouTube
what's
and
going on
Instagram,
with
but YouTube is my absolute favorite.
I don't know what's
With
going
what?
I don't know what's going on with my vocabulary. I've been saying very cool a lot later, like I'm 21. I don't know. That never happens to me. Oh, very cool. Oh, that's cool. I never do that, but I've been doing that a lot recently. It's throwing me for a loop. So you said under 6.5 years. So
Yeah.
what got you interested in doing the tarot?
So, about maybe 10 years before that, I joined an American network marketing company, Forever Living Products. They have natural aloe vera products. And everyone within the company just happened to be spiritual and they all had oracle cards and they were all into Reiki and, all that kind of stuff, holistic therapies and everything. So I bought my first oracle deck and etc etc. I ended up about 30 decks later going, ooh, I want to get an animal deck was what I had in my head in January 2018. So I googled images, just getting rid of stuff off my screen that are popping up. There we go. um I googled images and ordered a deck. Now I don't know where the deck is. It's around here somewhere. The first tarot deck that I ordered, but it was an animal deck, I know that much. And it was only after I'd ordered it and I was waiting for it to come in the post. And I went, shit, that says 78 cards. I was like, that's not an oracle deck. And then I realized it was tarot. And I thought, oh God, I don't know how to use tarot at all. I didn't have a clue. And I was at school a few days later, waiting for my child to come out. And I just happened to be texting someone. I was signed up for some angel classes with a friend of mine here in Cove in my hometown. And so I was texting my friend because my friend was signed up as well. We were going together, so we were asking each other questions. And I was laughing at her texts. And a girl I was talking to at school said, well, what's so funny? And I said, I'm signed up for angel classes, blah, blah, blah. She said, are you into spiritual stuff? And I said, I am. Yeah, I said, I actually just ordered a tarot deck no clue how to use it, didn't even realize I was ordering a tarot deck. I just saw pretty images. And she said, I'm certified to read and teach tarot. Like 5 minutes after I had put it out to the universe 5 minutes before that, that I needed to find someone to teach me tarot. And there I was talking to her 5 minutes later. And she did a tarot workshop about a week later, I think it was, because she was in the middle of organizing one and everything. So I did that, and that got the ball rolling. The heat is getting to me, and I was hooked.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
Isn't that interesting? Like you put it out
yeah,
there, boom, there it is.
yeah.
Sometimes things work like that.
Oh, I have a knack of I really like I'm really into the theory of manifestation and the law of attraction and stuff. You know, it absolutely works. Like there've times I've said I could do with an extra few euro this week, and someone will hand me an extra 30 euro for something I did for them or whatever. You know, I'll get that extra money somewhere. You know, so I just love it.
So how did you start approaching learning? So you took this class and then how did you just
Yeah.
go about figuring out how to study the deck?
So I did this workshop, which was I don't know a few hours, and then oh, and actually, see, I told her I'd ordered that animal deck, and she said to me, "Look, you really should learn from the Rider-Waite Smith. It's the best one to learn from." Blah blah blah. So I ordered one of them then as well straight away. So that came in the post, and then I did the workshop, and then she did for a few weeks, a weekly like tarot and tea session. So we'd go to her house and sit around the kitchen table and pull cards, and she'd kind of just teach us how to read intuitively and stuff, and we'd do readings for each other and things like that. But in the meantime, I had started watching all sorts of tarot videos on YouTube anyway, you know. So like that's how I found I best learned the tarot was from watching just so many different kinds of people on YouTube, you know.
Okay, I'm going to go off a little bit of track from what I normally do is so what was is Tarot 2 very different um today compared to when you first started watching it?
The only thing that would be different is that there's a lot more.
There's a
I
lot more.
mean,
Okay.
every day of the week I'm finding new people now on Tarot Tube, as ye all
I
call it.
I have over 100 that I'm following.
Oh,
It's
I've probably more at this stage. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And did you find a way that worked well for you in learning the tarot? Was it just watching YouTube or
Yeah,
yeah, that
yeah.
was the best way for you?
Yeah, yeah. I'm kind of I'd call myself I'd refer to myself as a visual learner anyway, you know.
Yeah.
Like I know, like I said, I watched your chat with Don Michelle this morning, and I know you were talking about journaling, and like you, I've tried it. I just can't get myself to do it. Cannot get it. I love the idea of it. It's not happening.
Yeah, because
Do you
they
know?
make it so fancy and pretty and
Yeah,
oh my God, I
and
want to
it
do
takes
that.
takes so much extra time.
Yeah, I'm there and I'm like, oh my God, this is frustrating. This is boring. This looks ugly. I don't like it. My hand hurts. I spent all this money. I got this stuff I'm never gonna use. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But I just find that like if I'm watching people on YouTube and if something they say makes sense to me, it stays in my brain forever anyway. So I feel I don't need to write it down because it's up here anyway, do you know?
So if you look back at your first year, what did that whole year look like for you?
Well, the first year, I think it was probably into the second year when I started actually posting and or making and posting videos. But that first year was probably, I think it was a year, just watching endless videos when I wasn't working or cooking dinner for the kids or dropping them to school or whatever. I was just watching YouTube.
Wow. So did you have a like a group of cards or a card that for some reason you were really struggling to like nail down and learn? Like no matter how much you studied it, it just wasn't happening.
The only one that always kind of, and even I said this to you last week when we did did our other video, was the lover's card. I just never loved the lover's card for whatever reason. I like, I mean, I was looking at the symbolism, I understood the symbolism and that kind of thing, but every time if I pulled it, I'd go, ugh, do you know? It's like I don't want that card. I don't know why.
Yeah, some cards
Do
are
you
just
know?
that way. But I'm curious. So it's been about a week and a half, maybe.
Yeah.
Um, in retrospect, with that tarot chat, I mean that tarot card study that we did, Do you have a different appreciation for the card now
I
in
do. I
retrospect?
do. Yeah, absolutely. Because, I said to you, it was only on the day that I kind of sat down and said, right, I better start watching a few videos, make a few notes, this kind of thing. And as I was going along and writing stuff, I was going, oh, okay, I'm starting to appreciate it a little bit
Yeah,
more, you know? And even then from chatting to you and you saying stuff that I kind of hadn't seen or thought of or whatever in it as well, And I was going, yeah, I don't hate it anymore,
yeah. Well, that's good. I'm glad.
Yeah, yeah. I was really glad I did it.
Any other challenges come up during that couple first year or two that where you felt like, ah, this is really hard, or it felt like there was a challenge that just felt daunting?
Yeah, I suppose just in general, the fact that there was 78 cards and it was the thought of having to, not even the thought of having to memorize them all because I wasn't kind of doing that. I was just, like I said, watching lots of YouTube, hearing different people say different things about the same cards and kind of just taking it all in. And if something didn't make sense, I don't kind of retain it anyway.
Yeah.
So, but it was just, I suppose, the initial thought of Jesus. There's a lot of cards, and I knew from the start I didn't want to do reversals because I'm a bit OCD. So
Yeah.
looking at a card upside down, it's just like I go blank. It's like, nah, I can't. I have to turn it around again.
Now, um, how are you with the court cards?
Um, yeah, for a long time I was like, ugh, a court card, but it's only in the last maybe even 6 months um, that I've really grown to appreciate the
Ah,
court cards. And I actually did a live with, I don't know, do you know Ramon Moonscarab?
no.
Okay. I'll have to tell him get on to you as well because he'd be amazing to do a card if you still have some left. But
Oh, I
Ramon
do.
is, yeah, good. I'll have to tell them all again. Ramon is in America. We did a live one night, and what I did was I had some pre-written questions, right? And the idea initially was that we'd take turns asking a question, pull a card, and then get someone in chat to read it for us, right? So we were trying to teach people to read intuitively. So we were doing that, but what happened, of course, was see, we said we'd pick one person to answer each question. But of course, everyone was writing in the chat anyway, so the chat was going 90. We couldn't keep
Yeah.
up. So in the end, we said, look, just all put up your your own thoughts on the card, and it was incredible the stuff people were posting that they were seeing in the cards. Because I had learned from a tarot course, when you pull a card, what do you see, what do you feel, and what do you know about the card? There was the three things
Yeah.
to look at to read intuitively. And it was absolutely incredible. And we actually had such fun on that, and people enjoyed it so much that people started email me going, could you do one just on the court cards? So I said, right. So I got out my court cards, I made out some new questions, and I actually made up my own cheat sheet, which I printed out in a table, and I told people comment, and I'll email this cheat sheet out to you. So I told them all, you can print it, you can laminate it, you can keep it and have all the main details in table form so you could kind of see it straight away. I first of all, I was going writing it out normally in lines, and then I was like, no, that's not visually working for me. So put it, yeah, so I put it into a table, and yeah, loads of people emailed me and said, oh my God, can I have your court card cheat sheet? And they all got great, whatever the word is,
Do you have this
benefit,
video up?
benefit.
Do you have this video up on your channel?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now we didn't do the court card one yet, but the first one is up anyway, where we just pulled cards, but we need to do the one with the court cards still.
Okay. So that
Yeah,
way people who are watching can go over and watch that.
yeah,
Wonderful,
yeah,
wonderful. And of
yeah,
course, I'll do all your social media in the description so people can find you.
yeah, yeah.
How long do you think it took from the onset of learning the tarot to feeling like, you know what, I don't have to go to the guidebook every single time for the cards now. I think I got a pretty good hand.
Yeah, I mean, from the start, I was trying not to as much as I could, but definitely, I think it's only in the last year that I'm
Ah,
just going, no, put the guidebook away in the cupboard, don't look at it. Now, having said that, I do like to read them.
Yeah.
Now and again, not when I'm pulling cards, but I do like to sit down and read them because I do want to know what the creator actually meant by each new bit of symbolism or whatever in the cards. Do you know what I mean?
I
I
do.
know a lot of people, yeah, like a lot of people say, throw away the guidebook. Don't use it. Learn to read with your intuition. But people put a lot of time and effort into creating the guidebooks. And I love books anyway, so I'm not throwing books away.
Yeah,
Um,
I
yeah,
I'm a lot more structured. My brain is very structured. I didn't realize this until several years ago. I'm the kind of guy that I want to learn the cards and
yeah,
then leave the guidebook alone and then work from there and see what else I see. Um,
yeah,
I follow my intuition a lot, but it's always from a starting point from the key word generally,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
it just quickly kind of expands, and then that keyword just kind of gets lost in the meaning of the card somewhere floating. Um, but okay, so and I do like the guidebooks, like the Terra Volatile is a really good guidebook. It's one
Is
that
it?
you really should read if you're going to get that deck. A really one that I really appreciate that I think is maybe underestimated is the Tarot of the Abyss. It's a mass market one, the black and white.
Yeah,
That's
I've heard of it. Yeah.
I really that is an amazing deck. If I'm gonna
Is it?
yes, you would I
Yeah.
think like it. The images are amazing. It has my favorite Hangman card of all time.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I love it. Um and when you do readings for other people, when did you start doing readings for other people? Like how long have
Um, I'll never forget this reading as long as I live. It was incredible. So I started learning in January 2018, and as I was, my aunt always said I'd be a teacher, always, right? From the time I was like a teeny tot. Um, and as I was learning, I was also teaching a neighbour of mine. So I'd go over to her house for a cup of tea and a chat, and I'd bring my cards with me. She started buying her own decks then as well, and I was learning and teaching her at the same time. And I was only learning about a month, Benny, and she texted me one night and she said, "Are you at home?" I said, "I am." She said, "Are you free?" I said, "I am." She goes, "Will you come over and do a reading for a client of mine?" So she had done someone's hair. She's a hairdresser, and she said she'd love a tarot reading. She's never had one. I says, "Look, you know as much as I do now." I said, "Why don't you do it?" "Oh God, no, no, no." She says, "I wouldn't have the confidence." So I said, "Boil the kettle. I'll be over in 2 minutes." so, so I went over. She put down a cup of tea, and she said she told me her first name. That was it. I'd never seen the woman before. It was so cool. She said, "I've never had a reading." She goes, "How does it work?" I said, "Look, I'll shuffle the At the time, I was a complete touch me not. No one was touching my cards, right? So I said, "I'll shuffle the cards. I'll spread them out. You pick three, past, present, future, and we'll go from there." So pulled three cards. So I had the nine. I actually had meant to have the cards out to show. I had the nine of pentacles. I had the six of swords and the hermit. Right from the Rider Waite Smith. And I went, "Oh, that's strange." Now, like I said, didn't know the woman from Adam. She said, "What?" I said, "The nine of pentacles is like you living in the lap of luxury, having all the material and physical, well-being that you need and whatnot." But I said the six of swords is you move, and because of the way they were placed too, like the six of swords is moving the opposite direction. So I said, "You're moving away from that." I said, "That's strange." And my friend says to me, "Do you not know who she is?" And I says, "No, sorry, I haven't a clue who you are." Turns out she was the ex-wife of a very well-known artist over here. But they had divorced 3 months, not 3 months, 3 years before. But they were still they broke up, amicably and all that, and they were still great friends. And he was still looking after her, minding her and giving her money and leaving her in the house and the whole lot. And I said, "Look, you have the hermit card in the future." I said, "You need to break away from him and like become your own person, figure out who you are, and not be kind of living off him for the rest of your life and been associated with him for the rest of your life." And I explained all this to her, and she was gobsmacked, and I was gobsmacked because I was only learning a month. And I was like, and it was brilliant the fact that I didn't know her, do you know,
Yeah.
because I wasn't reading them because I knew who she was and the fact that they were separated and blah blah blah. I knew nothing, like, so that just really cemented it for me in my mind that yes, I want to do this. I just love it, you
Yeah,
know.
I mean, it must have given you great confidence in the
God, yeah.
tarot itself and its ability to to kind of provide you what you're looking for with tarot. Because, when
Yeah.
I first came into tarot, I was like, does this work? Doesn't it work? Let's see. But right away, you had like a definite sign that this works. This is
That was
real.
it was amazing. It was amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
And I
so,
still always tell that story. Like I love it.
well, yeah, the fact that you remember all the cards, I'm sitting here
Yeah.
listening. He remembers all the cards. Oh, the cards moving away from the other nine petals. Interesting. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that must have been a big epiphany for you.
It was. It was. It was brilliant. Yeah.
Now, did you fall into the Rider-Waite system because it was suggested and that's where you just went?
Yeah.
Do you use Thoth or Marse?
God, no. No, the thought looks just too freaky for me anyway.
Yeah, it's out there. One day maybe, but Marseille I do want to get into one day. There's some Marseille decks that are absolutely stunning, but that probably won't be for years from now.
But question, right? But all Marse decks are pip decks, aren't they?
Yeah, well, for the ones that I know, yes,
Yeah. Yeah,
yes.
because I'm not into pip decks. I need images, you know, I
And
need full
well,
blown
also
images.
like hybrids. There's one called Pagan Otherworlds. That's a hybrid one.
Oh, okay.
So like the Minor Arcana has all the scenery, but there are no people. So
Oh,
like
okay. Oh no, yeah, no.
the Four of Wands has everything, the wands up, the little house, the little banners, but doesn't have people. Uh,
Okay.
then there's one of my favorite decks. It's a mass market deck. It's the Tarot Marseille. No, the Rider Waite
The
Smith.
Rider Marseille.
Yes. Uh,
Yeah.
that one, oh my God, it's a beautiful deck. Beautiful.
I only saw that a few days ago. I'm great friends with one of my subscribers. She's in the next county. She's only an hour away from me. Maya. Hi, Maya. And Steph, they'll be watching actually when this goes up. So, hi, Maya and Steph, my two biggest fans. Steph is her daughter. She's only about 8. And she actually said to me in a text this morning, she goes, "You're like a celebrity to her," she says.
Oh, that is so
I was like,
sweet.
"That's so cute." She watches all her lives with her mother. It's just the cutest thing. Like,
That is wonderful.
um, she actually got that deck only, I think, 2 days ago. So yeah, it looks really cool. I do like the
It
look of that.
it is beautiful. I love the colors.
Yeah,
Just has a Marseille feel, but I recognize
yeah,
cards because it also has a Rider-Waite Smith imagery, so it's
yeah.
phenomenal. Um, Now we talked about the challenges that you have. Now, were there some cards? Do you have cards that you really resonate with? Uh, and that were like from the onset, you were like, yes, this is my card. I see this really easy for me.
The death card. I love the death card, and I have to say I do really like. And I know I heard I heard Don Michelle saying this morning too. I do really like the Tower card and the Devil card, and I know they're the ones everyone's petrified of. But I suppose it's just because, um, in the last few years, I have been so much into spirituality through different people that I've met and kind of doing different courses and doing more cards and teaching tarot and and I'm obsessed with crystals. I came home with even more crystals again today. I just and I don't know. I bought loads today. I didn't buy loads. I was gifted loads today. Um but yeah, because of the connection to spirit the last 2 years, I just feel that where was I going with this?
The Devil card and the Tower card, you really like.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. That's just the that's just the fact that that's the reason that I'm not afraid of those cards anymore because I know we all have to go through change, no matter what, you know.
Yeah, when I look at those two cards, I don't see them necessarily as scary cards. I see them as really strong warnings or real strong like lights of saying, pay attention right now. This is
Yeah,
very
yeah,
cool. It might say that, I'm going to be dealing with a very challenging situation.
yeah,
And it's not always necessarily a bad thing. So, like for the tower, it could be like things are going to get really hard, and that could be an end of a relationship. It could be an end of
yeah,
anything that's very important to you. Like maybe your car breaks down, I have to take public transportation. That would be hard for me. But it also could be mean that you got a promotion at work, and now they're learning
yeah.
It's going to be really hard. It's going to take you a
Yeah.
while to kind of
You'll be
adjust.
thrown out of your comfort zone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the
Yeah.
tarot card isn't necessarily doom and
Yeah.
gloom for me. So
Yeah.
I understand your perspective very
I
clearly.
love those cards. Yeah, I do.
And any challenges today that you still face with the cards?
No, no. I think
No.
the biggest thing to overcome was kind of just it took me a long time to kind of train my brain to realize that the court cards are not just people. They can be events, they can be energies, you know.
Hmm. Yeah,
I mean, I was being told that from the start. I knew that, but it's just my brain could, for
yeah.
whatever reason, couldn't
There's just so
comprehend it, you
much.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But especially when when myself and Ramon were asked to do another live on just the court cards, I thought, okay, I gotta get my shit together and actually figure this stuff out. And I didn't want to do a live either without having had put together a document that I could email to people that they could have there in front of them, that they could refer to the notes when asked a question and shown a court card as the answer, you know, so that they could have a look down through my notes and say, oh, I know what this card is telling me for this question. And I wanted to have it all prepared like it was an actual tarot lesson, you know.
That's very nice. It's very
So
nice that you go out of your
that
way to do that.
yeah, yeah. They were delighted. I was so happy, you know, people were thanking me and even people who hadn't been on the live but watched it back afterwards. There were new people and they were just randomly emailing me going, "Oh my God, can I please have that court card cheat sheet?" I said, "You can, of course."
Okay, now you're gonna have to send it to me.
I will, of course.
Because now I gotta look at this thing. So you had mentioned that you had an animal deck that was your first card, or Rider-Waite's was your
Yeah.
first deck. What are some of your favorite decks that you have?
God,
Oh, really?
so many.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I just everyone I get, I'm like, oh my God, this is my new favorite.
Okay, so what's your go-to deck? Like, what's the deck that you like? You can read and it fits any kind of situation for you.
Well, one of the most recent ones that, yeah, and actually, funnily enough, it works for any kind of readings, and it's hard to believe, but Sasha Graham, Terror of the Haunted House. I mean, it's
Really?
the
That is so interesting.
yeah, like it really does work for anything because I'm on Wednesday nights, myself and Heather, she's in America, Soul Alchemy, Indigo Jaguar. She's in New York. We do true crime readings, and I know it's true crime isn't for a lot of people, but I'm obsessed. So we do we do true crime readings live on a Wednesday night, and so she had that deck. She got it because someone else had it, and then I saw it, and I was having major FOMO, so I was like, okay, I have to get this deck, so I got it. And then Rain got it because I had it, and then Maya got it because we all had it.
That's hilarious. But that's how it goes, right? When you're a tarot
Yeah.
reader, you gotta have it.
But like it actually does work for any kind of reading, and you wouldn't think it because obviously
I
it's a
know.
haunted house. But it's like the pentacles, the people in the pentacles cards are witches, the cups are angels, the swords are the vampires, I think, and the wands are the demons. It's just so cool. Like,
Okay, I'm gonna have to take a second look at that deck.
oh,
It was
it's
nothing I
really
would
cool.
ever consider. So I'm gonna go off track again. So tell me, what is a true crime reading that you're doing? What does that entail? If I go
So
and what am I watching?
So Heather would have picked it's on her channel. So no, sometimes I pick a case if something comes up that I think I'd like to read on, but generally she picks a case. So it could have been a missing person, whether recently or from years ago, or it could have been you know, an unsolved murder case or that kind of thing. And we'll just do a live, and we've a list of questions kind of that we and like that now we'd have the list of questions, but we might veer off them, or you might have to change them slightly depending on the case and whatever. So we just ask a question. There's always the two of us. Sometimes we have a third person, but she'd ask a question, and the two or three of us, whatever, would pull cards, and we just say and it's good because we're pulling them there and then, and you have to say immediately what you get from the card. It's like we know we're not recording it and then posting it where we've had loads of time to kind of think about the meanings or anything. We're doing it on the spot live, you know.
And
So
are
I
you
find
also gonna
it's
solve the crime?
not solve it necessarily, but just kind of see what the cards are telling us could have happened, you know. And we actually
Oh,
have
okay.
she actually has had friends and family from different cases that we did email her afterwards and say, I'm a friend or family member. We watch I watched your live back or playback, and everything you got was absolutely true. Is there any chance you could pull a few more cards and try and get a bit more information for us or this kind of thing, you know? So we have had
Oh,
feedback from family. Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible that people actually go on to Tarot Tube and look for readings on their family members
yeah.
to see if anyone can get anything from them, you know? It's
Interesting.
yeah, it's fascinating.
Now, so the Haunted Tarot, when it comes, so that's one of your go-tos. Do
You
you,
love that.
what is your most recent deck that you ended up getting?
The most recent one is the Tarot of the Divine. I also have the Tarot of the New Vision.
Move it to your right. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
There we go.
Uh,
Oh, there's a yeah, there we go.
yeah, I don't know.
Tarot, don't you? So this is so you're basically just looking at the card from a 180-degree angle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like in the
Oh,
magician, yeah, it's so there's extra details, you know. It's really fascinating. I'm
it's a
just trying.
different
Oh yeah.
perspective on the image.
So like, oh my God, angles. There we go. I
Yeah,
swear to God, I still can't get this right.
I
There we
know the
go.
cameras.
So you can see the volcano erupting there in front of him, so you can see what the flame is
Move
going
it a little bit
towards.
to your left, just a little bit. No, the other
No,
way.
this way.
There. Perfect. Okay. Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
What is that
it's really
called?
Tarot of the New Vision.
Okay,
It
I'm gonna write
it's
that down.
really cool. It's really cool. So there's things in the background, like this one even, this is cool. Um, so this is the Ten of
Mm,
Wands, but there's an old man back there in the corn working
yeah,
away, and it's kind of like learn from people with more experience. Like he could ask that old man, he could say, you know, he could think like, you've been there now for years, you're doing this job, you're doing it better than me, you're not carrying all these 10 wands, what should I do? He could get advice, or he could ask him to take some of the wands, or do you know, that kind of way. So it just
yeah.
adds an extra little bit of I love this one actually, the Seven of Swords, because it's your man is robbing the swords and thinking he's getting away with it, but there's a watchtower in front of him, so it's like
Oh,
you will always be caught. Do you know what I mean? You will
yeah.
always get caught. You can't do anything without not being seen. Do you know what I mean? So I love it. It's brilliant.
And um, have you ever had a deck that you're like, nope, can't work with this one, not doing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. But what I do is, you see, like I buy decks, and then if, say, 6 months later, I really haven't touched them, or there's a few cards that up close and personal I just can't vibe with, I'll sell it on. Do you know?
Okay, but have you
Yeah.
ever had a deck where you literally like had a reaction, like a
Oh,
visceral,
yes.
you're like, hell no, the
Yeah. No,
house.
yeah. No, I heard yourself and Dawn talk about that too. Yeah, this morning. No, I've never had that in that extreme. No.
Okay. Yeah, I always ask because I want to know, am I the only one? Turns out that a lot of
Yeah.
people had that similar
No,
experience.
I have heard people say that. Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like I didn't think stuff like that would happen with art.
Yeah, I
And
know.
that and then what's been interesting is as I've got because when I got a deck, it was because I was curious. And then
Yeah.
people would talk persifying person off.
Personifying?
Yes, oh my God, kill me. The decks. And I was like, that's interesting. And now I do that, and they have certain energies and certain feels. And I have decks that are kind and gentle and sweet.
Yeah.
They'll
Yeah.
give you the news that you need to hear in a nice way. And then you have other decks that are like, they'll slap you around like Cher does in
Yeah.
that movie. Snap out of it. So the Labanco Tarot is one of them. That deck does not play around.
Okay.
If you need a straight shooter and you really need to hear the message,
Yeah.
that's a deck that I would go to. Definitely. But yeah, so that's happened to me before. Now you just mentioned, which is a follow-up question. You've had decks that you've given away because one or two cards just didn't work with you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, or even things like if I had a, do you know, God, I can't remember, what was it called? The original one was called the Pamela Coleman Smith RWS, right?
Hmm.
So it was Lo Scarabeo printed an RWS, but it was very pretty coloring, very atmospheric backgrounds and stuff. Do you know that one?
Right off the bat, no, but go on.
For, it was nicknamed by someone, I don't know who, the Dirty Pam for some reason, right? Don't ask me why, I haven't a clue.
Yeah, I know
Um,
that.
and what happened was, now this is a story I heard, I don't know what actually happened, but apparently Lo Scarabeo printed it without copy or outside of copyright for US games or something, I don't know. So there was only one printing, right? And everyone was so obsessed with this deck, and there was massive FOMO going on all over the world. And the what they actually did, which was terrible. I felt so sorry for people because so many people were trying to get their hands on this deck, and they actually made a second printing, which the box and everything looked the same, and the images that were put up online were the same. But when they got them, it was actually the Rider Waite Smith cards with the original colouring of the cards. So people were paying for this new atmospheric
Mm,
colouring deck, and they were getting and there was war over it, like there was absolutely war. So then, of course, it was out of print, and everyone was freaking out, wanting to get it. I managed to get a copy from an Etsy seller in Japan, and I think it was about €58, and then of course 15, 20 shipping, whatever, and then I got cut for another 20 something customs and the whole lot. And it's a beautiful deck. But what Los Scarabeo went away did and did then, right? And it was so bad. I Now people love it, but it was really really poor. The Los Scarabeo went and did a borderless one. It was a bigger card. It was extremely glossy. Like you shuffle it now and the cards were flying everywhere. It was
I
shocking.
hate it.
It was so I think it was so bad. And even the images, it was like, oh, I don't know, it was like a child redrew them or something. There was really thick lines and stuff, and there was no details. It was really poor. I thought, and it was really poor. Some people loved it. I thought it was shocking. That was one I had it 5 minutes and I was like, this is not working for me. This has
I
to
love
go.
it. It was
You know?
shocking. That's so
Shocking.
funny.
It was shocking.
Shockingly horrible. That's so funny. Oh, that's interesting. And right now, what decks are you using right now?
So that one, the Tower of the New Vision, and the Tower of the Divine. And I actually recently as well got, well, a couple of months ago, got the last one I would have got. Uh the Queen Alice Tarot by Dame Darcy. So it's based on Alice
Oh,
in Wonderland.
yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
know it. I know it.
That is
Do
a
you like
cool
it?
deck. Yeah, it's a cool deck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Baba Studios. Do you know Baba Studios?
Yeah, that's in County what?
Yeah.
Kerry, I think. And yeah, yeah.
They're they are coming out. Their last deck is going to be a reprint of the Alice Tarot deck.
Okay.
Do you know? Have you seen that Alice Tarot deck?
I've seen a few deck reviews, I
Oh,
think a couple of years ago, yeah. Yeah.
I was able to get a first edition. I think I got the first edition from somebody,
Huh.
but they're reprinting it in 2025, and so
Okay.
if and it's their last printing, and that deck's like so. I'm going to buy two because
Okay.
I always get a back. The Baba Studios, I always get a backup if I can.
All right.
So maybe that'll be something you'll look into. And I love their books. Their guidebooks are amazing.
Are
Some
they
of the
okay?
best
Cool.
guidebooks that you can get.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, have you been a have do you have unicorn decks?
No.
Have you purchased any unicorn decks?
No.
Do
No.
you have
I
a list
think
of unicorn
I
decks?
I think maybe one time someone gave me, I think it might have been a unicorn oracle deck, but it was a kind of more child friendly one.
Okay, okay, okay. So let me make sure that we're on the same page.
What's the
There,
fascination here?
okay. So we got unicorn decks that are images of unicorns. Then we
Right.
got unicorn decks. These are decks that are like unicorns. They're like they almost don't exist. They're hard to find. They're very rare,
Ah,
out of print. So do you have a
I'm with
list
you.
of these kind of decks that are super hard to find or super expensive that are out of print that we call unicorn decks that you have? Do you have a list
I've
of it?
never heard that before. And
Yeah.
you're doing tarot now less time than I am. I've never heard that before. Huh?
Yeah, well, you should watch my video. I did a video on unicorn decks for 2023.
Okay.
I was able to get some crazy hard decks to get. I was able
Oh,
to
wow.
um
Huh?
Facebook making announcements, scouring the internet,
Genie.
So do you have any decks that were difficult or out of print that you were just like, oh my God, I'm so lucky I got this deck?
There's only one I can think of. I can't see. It's an Italian deck. It's very big cards. I mean, the cards are massive. Like, it's from 1970. I know that it was a gift for my birthday last September from a friend of mine. It's old, but you can tell it was never touched because they're almost perfect. It's only the box that looks like it um was used, you know. But it's a really cool one. It is there's Italian on it. It's an Italian. I'll have to get it and send you a photograph of it
Oh, I
because
would love to see it.
yeah, it
And
it's
then,
it is
and when you do that, I will post in the description the name of the deck that she's talking about.
right because it's an Italian name. I can't for the life of me think of it. It's even in this cool, really old-fashioned golden looking box, and um, I should have thought now to bring that up when I was
Go
coming
ahead, yeah.
upstairs.
So let me ask you, do you have any current decks that you would consider unicorn decks that you're
No,
over but can't find? No. Look at you.
no.
Good
Oh,
for you.
oh, only that Pamela Coleman Smith RWS one now, because it was hard to get. I mean, it took me a while to find it, and even after I bought it, the next day she tripled the price on Etsy, because she knew so many people were looking for it.
And
So yeah.
um, so now I want to switch a little bit. So you've been doing all this stuff. How long were you with the tarot before you started your YouTube channel?
Yeah, I think it was around the year. I started in January, and I think it was maybe the February or March of the following year that I
Okay, so
started.
it's not too long after.
That would make sense because I think I kind of started really with daily readings in the first year of lockdown to kind of cheer people up. I think that's what kind of inspired me to start it.
Oh, so that was the inspiration was
Yeah,
the lockdown, trying to
yeah,
positive in the world.
yeah, exactly, yeah, yeah.
So what do you when you first started, what did you use? What equipment did you have to record the videos?
Oh, it was only my phone. My husband even bought me a ring light on YouTube on Amazon for I don't know, Mother's Day or something or other. Um, so I just had that in the little clampy thing in the ring light and set it up. Now I either use the phone or my laptop. I don't have any fancy equipment whatsoever. I don't edit anything. I just no nothing. It's just all or nothing.
Well,
I leave in I leave in the mistakes or the whatever. I sometimes, if it was very hot now like today and I get all jumbled up and say the wrong words, I'm like, feck it, I don't care. It's grand. I'm posting it.
yeah, well, I generally do too. I do edit, but mostly I'm very lucky. Like I just go from beginning to end. Sometimes if I make a lot
Yeah.
of mistakes, I'll cut them out. Then I'll do a blooper reel at the end. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
I went a little overboard. I researched cameras and lights and desks and arms and I don't know why I had to have all this stuff. I'm just a little extra. Well, actually, I'm a lot.
Yeah.
And then I had my setup, and then I did the videos. They didn't look great, but it was a struggle. It was a struggle to try to
Was
figure
it?
it out. Was it
Yeah.
pretty easy for you to figure it out and get your videos posted?
Ah, yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, I'd never posted anything on YouTube or anything before, so I mean, it took me a bit to kind of figure out that even when I was in the middle of posting it, that I had to scroll down and click all these different boxes, add to playlist,
Uh,
is it child friendly, or all this kind of stuff. But yeah, I got there in the end anyway. But you see, I do things from learning too, so I wasn't going to go. I mean, I kept telling myself I should go in and do a course somewhere on how to use YouTube and how to use this and that and the other. And I
Yeah.
was like, no, I'm not spending money. I'm intelligent. I can figure it out myself.
And there's a lot of good YouTube videos. Like I use Final Cut Pro for my videos to edit lighting and voice
Okay.
kind of stuff. So I use YouTube to help teach me.
Yeah.
It's been a huge learning curve for me. It's sometimes I feel like quitting. Like early on, I felt like quitting, and it's just like I can't.
Yeah.
But I like figuring out how to plug a phone into a wall it's a job for me.
Oh God.
So when you first started YouTube, your goal was to bring some happiness into people's life. How has
Yeah.
your YouTube channel kind of changed through the years?
Um, Well, m- I know I was telling you last week, my very first video was just we'd been up the mountain, we'd picked up loads of stones that had loads of bits of crystals through it and through them and stuff. And I thought, oh, I'm going to make a video and show people on YouTube, whatever half a dozen people might see it on YouTube, my lovely crystal collection from the mountains, you know. So I literally just held the phone and went like this and videoed them all laid out on the floor and I posted it. And then the next day I thought, you know what? Feck it, I'm going to show myself. So I just turned the camera and pointed at myself and did my daily reading or whatever, you know. And I cut it off and posted it. And I thought, do you know what? That wasn't a big deal. And I
Yeah.
just kept on doing it. And I was doing that now. It was only last, where are we? We're in June. It was only last, it's nearly a year. Last August 28th, I believe. I just got a notion. I was sitting on my bed one evening. Um, I set up the laptop. I put on a video on YouTube on the telly on how to use YouTube Live, and I was
Oh,
following along on the laptop, and I was going, "This isn't rocket science."
yeah. I've only done one live, and that's when I reached,
Oh, did you?
yes, that's when I reached 100 videos. I did a live.
Okay, all right,
Yeah, so my next,
okay,
I'm going to do another live, and that's when I reach 1,000 subscribers. I'll do another
right.
live, and then I'll also do another giveaway. And I can't believe it. I'm over 900 subscribers.
Are you?
I know that's crazy.
Jeez, huh?
So 1,000 is going to happen this year.
So it's coming soon, yeah.
So I will be doing a live. But do you find it like, I find it really fascinating and exciting when somebody subscribes to my channel.
Oh
I
God, yeah.
I'm just like, that is so wild that somebody like wants to invest their time to remember to watch my new videos. I
I
just
know.
do you have that same feeling?
Oh, still all the time. Yeah, even this morning I just went into my channel and there was an extra two or three subscribers and I was like, yes, I love it.
I
And I
think
love
all of
it.
us,
Yeah, and I keep telling people when I post my daily readings or during a live or whatever, because on my lives, right, I have a lot of tarot readers from around the world. What who's I'm on their channels, they're on my channels. I watch their lives, they watch my lives. So when they're in the chat, we all say it amongst ourselves. Anyone who has a chat or who has a channel, put your link in the chat, in the live chat. And then anyone who is new, we say, oh, go to all them channels and hit subscribe, please. It's free. And, you know, all the rest of it.
yeah,
It helps our channels, blah, blah, blah. And that's how we do it. We all help each other out. So whenever we're on lives, we tell everyone to go to everyone else's channels and subscribe. And we all help each other out. And it's lovely. And we've all been doing lives
yeah,
together
it's a good
and oh,
community.
it's fabulous. Yeah.
It's very interesting as you're talking. We're very, very different. I can't believe I think this. We're very different content creators. It cracks me up that I'm a content creator. I think that's so funny. Because I just became something for me the other day, and I'm like, yeah, I'm a content creator. So we're very
Yeah.
different. So mine tend to be, recordings. Yours tends to be, sounds like a lot of lives. You tend to do
Yeah.
a lot of readings. I don't do readings. I do like this. I do like how I study, how I'm learning, video decks, all that kind of stuff, book
Yeah.
reviews. And there's, a-
That's why, go on.
go ahead, go ahead.
No, that's why I love all the different channels that I'm on because everyone does something different, you know. Because the one thing I had said to people at the start, when people started emailing me, asking me to do lives with them, and saying, what would you like to do with me? And that kind of thing. I said, well, look, I try to avoid live readings because everyone is doing live readings and I want to kind of do different stuff, which is why myself and Ramon came up with the let's pull cards and get people in the chat to answer so that we can get their intuition going. And myself and Heather do the true crime lives,
I think
and
those
I
are
do,
great.
yeah, we're always coming up with different ideas. And actually, then, like when I saw Gerald sharing your video about the video series you're doing with one card with each person, I just thought, oh my God, that is just genius. I can't wait to see that.
Oh man, yeah, I have a couple of more, and then the first half of the major arcana will be done. Uh, this so this video of our tarot chat won't come out for maybe a month. So, but I have the series will come out on June 5th. So
Yeah.
now you've seen maybe like six, I'm gonna say. Uh, but but I have the whole I'll have the whole summer done to give me t a break to do other things as well, like
Oh,
move.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
but yeah, the tarot chat, when I first thought about it, I was like, oh gosh, that would be 78 people. That's gonna
Yeah.
be over a year. Oh man. But I'm like, well, like over a year is gonna pass at one point or another. Why not?
Yeah,
To
yeah,
do
it's true.
videos, and I haven't seen
Yeah.
anything like that yet, so do it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I love having, yeah, I love that now, like coming up with different ideas of things that not everyone is doing. Because to be
mhm.
honest with you, I can't stand the readings. Like, I love watching certain people's readings, depending on what way they do them. But these ones that, with the headings, or watch this, or you'll never find a husband, all this kind of
Oh yeah.
crap.
Have you ever,
Oh,
do you know who Madam Adam is?
I love him.
Oh my God. I will sit and watch his videos because I am looking at how because I can see with him where he's doing the readings. And so I like to see it.
Yeah.
And also he's just really sassy and he's very straightforward.
Oh,
It is what it is, and I love
I
it.
love him. Like, take a breath in, breathe out. I am, what is it? I am kind, I am sassy, I'm a bad motherfucker.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This, I love him. Love him.
Now, do you have a set schedule on how you put your videos out, or is it just pretty much random whenever you're inspired to do it?
Yeah, I like that now. I did about a month ago sit down with a notebook, attempting to journal, and I said to myself, right, I'm going to make a list of nights I could do lives and a different topic for each of those nights and all this kind of stuff. And it all written out lovely. And I'd sent it to a couple of my closest YouTube subscriber friends who I do lives with and whatnot. And I said, look, this is what I'm going to do from now on. Never did it. It's just random, whatever I feel like when I feel like it.
Yeah, I like to have I'm structured. I like to have a schedule. I actually, because of a couple of flops that happened recently with the tarot one card study, and I did a video called Channel Update, so people will know what I'm talking about. I ended up buying a daily planner, but a
Okay.
really nice one because now I'm doing so much with social media now. I even started a podcast that I need to
Mhm.
have blocks
Yeah.
coded and see it in a calendar in a week, color code it. It's gonna be crazy because I'm doing different types of projects. And I think
Ah,
the thing
yeah.
that's really difficult is I'm working with people from different time zones around the world
Yes. Yeah.
that it
Yeah.
can get very confusing for me. And then I'm dealing with people on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube channel,
Well,
email. And then so I have to keep track of where I'm communicating with people. It can be a little overwhelming for me sometimes, which has created a couple of hiccups for me. And so
ah, yeah.
I now have to have a planner, I think, to help avoid those situations from occurring.
Yeah.
Now, is there anything that's off limits that you share about yourself or your life or anything on your channel?
Well, I wouldn't talk about kind of, well, things that would get me banned from YouTube.
Yeah,
Like the last 4 years. But I've no interest whatsoever in politics. People mention politics, and my brain switches off. I'm going, oh
yeah,
Jesus! Like I don't even know the politics in my country, let alone Trump and Biden and whoever else is over there. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? I know there's people. and people that I'm mad about and their channels, like, but all they seem to do is talk about politics, and I'm like, nah, I just can't.
Yeah, I actually don't watch I watch the news very rarely. I've stopped watching the
Yeah,
news like 20 years ago because just so much negativity.
yeah.
Um, the there were two things. Well, the big thing that I didn't talk about my channel until recently was what I did for a living, because my biggest concern was that I was afraid people would put too much stock in the things that I said,
Oh,
uh, because I'm a mental health therapist.
okay.
And so my concern was, well, if Benny says so, then it must be right, mental health wise. He's an
Yeah,
expert. And I was like, no, no, no. I am an expert in mental health, but I'm not an expert in your mental health and
yeah,
what's right
yeah.
for you. I don't know your story. I don't know your
Huh.
background. I don't know the challenges, why this is happening. So that was a
Yeah,
big issue for me for a while, but now I've gotten to a place where I talk openly about, about that if it comes up. But that
yeah,
is really generally the only thing I've never really talked about until recently.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'm not too stressed out about talking about things, but just I have to bite my tongue when it comes to things that literally could get me banned from YouTube, because I did share a video about a year ago and I got a warning very quickly from YouTube. So I was like, okay, whatever, won't do it again.
has having a tarot channel affected or changed how you do your own personal tarot practice?
No, no,
No?
no, no. Um, I just like I at the start I would have done a few readings for kind of close friends and that, and it was through word of mouth then that random people in my own country who like hours away from me who I've never seen or met would message me and say, "Oh, you're a friend of so and so. He told me you're a great tarot reader. Will you do a reading for me?" And I just they tell me a brief little bit about what they want a reading on, and I um record a video and I post it privately to YouTube and send them the link, and then they can watch it whenever they want. And I've gotten great feedback from people, so I've carried on doing things the way I was doing things, you know.
Good.
Um, but it's just it does like it's great for getting your name out there, you know, and kind of, and I love anyway, I'm the best of friends with all my subscribers. I'm mad
Oh,
about them, and we kind of chat out. Some of them are on WhatsApp, we'll be texting each other, or through Facebook Messenger or whatever. A lot of us keep in contact all the time, and you know, and I love it, like I love the connections.
you can tell that you really love tarot. I mean,
Yeah,
it
I
shows
do.
in the passion that you discuss it. It shows up definitely in your eyes and your smile.
Good.
Do you do any journaling?
No,
Oh, we talked about that at the beginning. That's right. Yes, journaling. Yeah.
can't get myself to do it. No.
Now, well, I do have a form of journaling that I do, which is taking pictures on Instagram and then writing about it
Actually,
and putting it up.
yes, you said this in the one with Dawn Michelle that I watched this morning. Yeah, and I thought to myself, "Ooh, I must remember that for when I talk to you tonight."
Yeah. So, I mean,
Yeah,
and your people are going to hear my story multiple times because I'm very
yeah,
in this series. So,
yeah.
um, and did you try journaling? Like seriously try and it just didn't work out, or you gave it I'm going to give it a go and not for me.
That was it, really. Yeah, like I got some lovely journals. I mean, a friend of mine gifted me a lovely one year for Christmas, and it's still sitting in the cupboard in my room with nothing written in it. You know,
I
I
have
don't know.
I do have journals, but I use them for note taking now, like to prep for videos
Yeah,
and stuff like
yeah.
that. Um, did you, are there any books that you use that you really still love? Like study books, guidebooks, workbooks?
Not workbooks, no, but I do have the latest one I would have gotten was. And it was because after I got the Terror of the Haunted House, I was obsessed with Sasha Graham. So we actually interviewed her on my channel. Myself and Heather interviewed her. Yeah, she was an amazing guest. We
Okay,
just talked all about,
I'm gonna have to get on.
yeah, yeah, we talked all about that deck. Like it was just brilliant. She's amazing. She's just the nicest woman. And now we text each other on WhatsApp and everything.
Oh, that's sweet.
I love her. She's so nice. But I did get after chatting to her that night, I did order the Tarot of the Witch's Garden, it's called, which is a beautiful deck.
Mhm.
Linen cardstock, which I think is perfect for shuffling and everything. It's
Yeah.
really nice. And then I got her, like, I don't know, I keep forgetting the order of the name of the book. It says the Tarot of Magic or Magic of the Tarot, one or the other name, but it's her book. And I think if you had to, now I haven't read through all of it, right? But just the way it's put together and everything, and it's so simply put together. It's not all rocket science. It's really well written. Um, I think like if you were to get one tarot book, that will be enough. You know, it's like a tarot Bible. It's not a massive book or anything, but just the way she's put it together and the simplified information and everything. It's
What's
just a
it?
really good book.
What do you
Uh,
say the
the
name is
the
again?
the Magic of Tarot, I think, is the way it is.
Okay.
Sasha Graham. It's a really nice book. And it's
Uh,
not expensive. I know it was only about €17 on Amazon.
Now, if you had a gift, I'm assuming I already know the answer to this, but if you met somebody brand new, came up to you and said, I need a deck, what deck would you suggest? What deck would you give?
Yeah, I would say the Rider-Waite-Smith.
Yeah, okay, I actually thought you were going to say the Haunted Tarot. Okay, the Rider.
Well, you see, yeah, no, I'd be telling them get that as soon as you know how to read the Rider-Waite-Smith. Do you know? Now, unless someone, of course, I suppose if someone was, see, I love all TV programs with angels and witches and demons and all the rest of it. I love all that kind of TV shows on. Well, I don't have TV channels, but as in on Netflix and stuff, I love watching all those kind of things.
Yeah.
Um, so I suppose if it was someone who was really into them and knew enough about angels and demons and vampires and witches to actually maybe be able to read the cards, do you know what I mean? But they're not all exactly Rider-Waite-Smith based. So I would still tell someone learn with the RWS,
Yeah,
do you know?
I agree with you. I also
Yeah,
right away based deck.
yeah.
Now, when it comes to tarot tubers, I know everybody who has Dawn Michelle, Lisa Papez, Danny Mystics. A lot of people have Dustin on up on their list. Who are your favorite tarot tubers that you go to?
Um, well, my friend Heather, love her channel. Ramon, Moon Scarab. My friend Rain, Spiritual Rain. Gerald, who you know, Tarot Stash.
Yeah.
Um, and then all his gang, which is like
Oh
Jane the
my God.
Seeker.
Gerald
Do you
blows
know?
my mind. I watch his videos. He's extremely knowledgeable. He calls this his shtick. It's this little cards which crack me up.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. But I'm just blown away with the amount of content he's able to put out there,
yeah,
all the collaborations that he has, and
yeah,
all the different types of collaborations that he has.
yeah.
It is
Exactly. Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, yeah.
Amazing.
I love the fact that he has, like, he does, it's not just tarot, he does things on all forms of spirituality, all forms of divination, so many different types of people. I just love that, you know?
You know, my favorite when he was interviewing me, you know what my favorite thing was that he was doing? He was acknowledging all the people in the chat that were coming in.
Yes,
I just thought
yes,
it was so sweet
yeah,
to acknowledge somebody's presence who's taking the
yeah,
time to be on the channel. I just loved it. And it was very
absolutely.
fluid. It didn't interrupt the flow of anything.
Yeah,
That's the one thing that I really took from him,
yeah.
was acknowledging the people who were there.
And you see, because I was, I know I don't know how long I'm watching his channel, but because I got in with his gang, and then I started watching all the other people in chat that you know, Jane the Seeker and Miss Tarot D, and oh my God, there's so many, Longman Tarot, Elemental Cartomancy, there's hundreds, but because I was watching those. And they're all the same type of people in no matter whose chat you're in, everyone is acknowledging everyone, and I love that. Like, there's a few people that I love to watch, but like uh people who do kind of true crime readings and stuff, like, I like to watch, but if you comment, they never ever reply to a comment. Like, I reply to everyone's comments on my videos on my channel, you know,
So do
and I
I.
get to know, yeah, and I get to know people, and I love that. And if people don't, I find it hard to go back to their channels, you know, because I'm like, they're putting out all this stuff to get their likes and to get their subscribers, but they have no interest in chatting to people, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that
It's
puts me
important.
off.
It's always important for me to respond. I don't know if I'll ever get to a place where I can't always respond. If that happens, then of course I'll still respond, maybe not to everybody, but acknowledge everybody's comments in one way or another.
Yeah. But I mean, all you have to do is put the little heart, tip the little heart
Yeah,
on the comment so that they know that you read it. That's enough.
yeah. So I'm going to ask you some questions about tarot tubers and just give me your first response. Okay?
Right.
All right. What tarot tuber do you think you've learned the most from?
I think all in all, I'd have to say Gerald.
Okay. Which tarot channel do you go to when you just want to have fun and just be with somebody that makes you smile?
I'm going to say Heather and Rain, the two of them.
Okay. What channel do you go to when you're in like an intellectual mode where you want to be a student, you want to learn something?
See, I could pick Gerald for that as well, just because of the endless different topics, or Ramon. Ramon is amazing. He does tarot lesson videos, like, and his knowledge is incredible.
Last one. Who inspires you on TarotTube to reach for your cards?
Hmm. I'm going to say Ramon, Moon Scarab.
So we're gonna have to check Ramon out because we
Yeah,
have quite
yeah.
a bit.
Ramon is amazing.
So right now, what does your practice look like? Your own personal tarot practice. What does that look like for you now?
I tend to wake up in the morning and have my breakfast and then stick on something funny or whatever on Netflix to have on in the background, and I just sit and I shuffle my cards and pull my daily cards. Um, I sometimes it depends on how much time I have and what mood I'm in. I might put out my tarot reading mat, put out a few crystals, light some of my I have some beautiful handmade candles that I buy from a friend of mine. Maybe light one of those. That would be more so in the evening, I suppose, that I do that. Um, but I'd always pull some cards. I can't leave the house without having shuffled a deck of cards.
That's interesting. Now, do you do like a three-card spread, five-card spread? It just depends on the day.
Yeah, it just depends on how I'm feeling, Like for my daily readings that I post on YouTube, I pull two cards. So what I do is I cut the deck and I take the top card as the kind of main one, but then I pull the card from underneath the deck just as like a clarifier to give a bit
Mhm.
more information. So I do that two card reading. Well, I haven't done it now in a few days because I've been so busy, but I do two cards for the daily reading anyway for YouTube. But then depending on what mood I'm in, I'd however many cards I'd pull for myself.
This, I've never asked anybody this, but I'm going to ask you. What's the most cards you've pulled for a reading? Do you have an idea?
Well, that would be well actually there was one I had gotten a list of questions off the internet for our true crime readings. There's for a set of questions for missing persons and a set of questions for um murder cases. And one of them is 12 cards and the other one is 17, I think. So I suppose that'd be the most.
Wow, that's a
Oth-
lot.
Otherwise, yeah, otherwise the most would be like a Celtic cross, 10 cards.
Yeah, actually, I'm going in the next week or two, I'm going to try to do my first Celtic cross.
Do.
I'm thinking maybe I should make a video of it. Maybe I should do it and then talk about how it went and then show what the color
Yeah,
came out. I don't know, but I'm gonna attempt my first Celtic cross.
yeah.
It's a little daunting because the most I've ever pulled is five cards, so this is gonna be
Is it okay? Yeah.
yeah. So we'll see how it goes.
No, it's not scary. Don't even stress about it. It's grand because of the fact that uh each card has their own actual
Yes.
position and meaning. It kind of cuts down the millions of meanings that the card could have. When you have a specific question for each card.
Do you create your own spreads?
I did make one actually. I was always obsessed with ancient Egypt and watching documentaries on ancient Egypt and stuff. So obviously pyramids. So I was like, I need a pyramid spread. But when I Googled it, nothing ever kind of jumped out at me. So I just put together three smaller spreads that I love to make a pyramid. So I have four along the bottom. So I have situation, obstacle, how to overcome the obstacle, and outcome. and then just above that I have past, present, future, and then I have body, mind, and soul on top. And that's it.
Very nice. Have
10
you done that
cards
on
per
your
spread.
YouTube channel?
I think I did a video of it. Yeah, I know I laid out the cards and I took a photograph and I put it in the community tab, and I think I did film it then maybe the next day and actually post it going through it. I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I love
Well,
that.
before we go, do you have any last comments or thoughts you'd like to share? Any questions that you might have?
Um, I don't think so. I know you said you're only do. Is it 2 years ago you started, or nearly 2 years?
August will be two
Your
years.
YouTube
So,
channel. Yeah.
yes, and right before grad school, I bought like three, like maybe five or six decks. They were Oracle decks mostly. And
Oh,
then a month later, um, I got accepted to grad school. There was no way I could do grad school and learn tarot. So that went to the wayside. And
oh
then
yeah.
Katie Flowers showed up on YouTube. However,
Yeah, I loved her. I loved her.
and then because I had forgotten about tarot by that point, because it was like 4 years late, 3 years later. And all of a sudden, all that excitement and the desire and the pull for tarot came back again.
Huh.
So
Yeah.
in August, it will be 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. I didn't say it, but my grandmother, actually, my mother's mother, I thought my mother used to be talking about cards and I thought it was tarot cards. It was actually playing cards she read and tea leaves. And she
Mm.
said she used to have a queue out the door and down the road. She said she was incredible. So I was like, at least I know where I got it from anyway.
Yeah. And no, and I actually believe those kinds of things do go from generation to
Oh
generation.
yeah.
I really believe that.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. It was really
Thank
nice to get
you.
to know you a little more.
You too. Actually, one thing I wanted to ask you,
Yeah,
would you come on to my channel some night for a live?
sure, sure. I don't know what we'll do, but yes, I would be
Yeah,
more than to. Yeah,
we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
yes, I'd love to. That would be great.
Nice one. I love because I love doing lives and chatting to people, and we can like that now. We can discuss it beforehand what topic we want to do or whatever. I don't even mind what topic, but yeah, I wanted to make sure I asked you if you'd come on and do a live with me.
Yeah, of course I will. That would be such an honor to do so. Thank you so much.
Delighted.
All
Good
right.
stuff.
Well, everybody, thank you so very much. This is another tarot chat. I really appreciate you coming on, Jackie.
Thank
Until
you.
next time, I am the Fool's Apprentice, and you have a good day. Bye, guys.
Bye.